Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiana, or Tiana, which is with a J, and I'm so excited for today's video because I have one of my best friends and my best writing friend ever, Anna New.
Aww, hello.
We're in the Netherlands together, so I actually came to visit her because she's here on a study exchange. And so since we're both in Europe now, I had to take the opportunity to actually come meet her in person. And so this is actually our first time meeting
physically in person.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
But
I love it.
We've been friends for a year and a half now. Although I started watching your videos back in like over 2 years ago now. I think it was
That's
like
so crazy.
January or February.
So honored.
Yeah, 2022. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about like how we met, how we became friends, and how perhaps you too could also find some writer friends, and just maybe how traveling has influenced our writing a little bit, and you know how things change in the world when you like take the steps to kind of do what you want. So it's very interesting that we're here together now.
I'm so excited. But like, it's funny because when you brought it up about how traveling and also having writer friends, because all my writer friends are literally all over the world.
That's true.
So like Tiana is like in Serbia, and then I have like Ashley who's in like America, and then like V who's like in Canada. There's just like so many people around the world. So like
cool. I agree. Pretty much all my writer friends too, or nobody's in the same place
so
as
physically.
me. So this is so amazing that we actually get to meet in person.
I still literally can't believe it. It's so amazing.
It's pretty crazy. Like we video call sometimes for like hours and hours, which is amazing, but it's not nearly the same as it is in being in person. And we've gone shopping, we've gone to Amsterdam, we've gone out, we're hanging out. Like I've been here for what, like 8 days now, 9 days, and I leave tomorrow. But she's trying to convince me to come back to the Netherlands again while she's still here. But I don't know, fingers crossed, maybe. But I wanted to, let's start with how you got onto like your YouTube, and then how that eventually led to us meeting, like really quickly, what that was like.
I started sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so my voice might be a bit weird, but I started AuthorTube like around 2 years ago now. I started to do writer content, and I basically started to really try my best to get into the writing community, and I looked up to like all this like creators like Chris MF and like Rachel Wrights and all those beautiful creators who I know now. Like I've talked to them and FaceTimed them, which is so crazy. So that's just kind of how I started. I slowly started to make videos and get into that, and simply just connecting with other writers through Instagram usually. So I have lots of mutuals on Instagram, and I've met Tiana through, she's like slid into my DMs.
It definitely was a slide into the DMs.
Which was so fun. And then she asked me about being a guest on her podcast, which was upcoming, and that's basically how we met. So I think you kind of found my YouTube and then went on my Instagram, and then we started to talk through there. But I'm actually curious, why were you so curious about reaching out to me?
Okay, well, like you said, I started watching you, I think around the time you started making writing videos. So I think when I first found your channel, I don't even remember how I found it, but
algorithm.
Yeah, I guess. But it was like you had made a few songwriting, singing videos, and you'd only maybe had 6 or 7 writing videos at that point. So I was there from the start.
She's really
And so I was just had just started really getting into my writing with Project TOD, and so it was really cool to like find a whole community on YouTube of people doing writing vlogs and sprints and just what it's like to actually be a writer. And so I was following along on your journey, but that was also when I left for Peru. So I was traveling, and I was writing, and I was following along with your videos. And then I had the idea that perhaps I wanted to try making my own podcast or YouTube channel, and I really wanted it to be the podcast, my Write Opinion podcast, is a chance where I have to interview guests who are other writers and authors, and get get their thoughts on the world and what they think. And so I was like thinking of like who would I like to have on the podcast. So obviously like I'm sure everybody would love to talk to the big names in the industry and everything, no doubt. But I was like, but who are people in the community that I also admire? Like, yeah, well no, but I was like, you're the person I watch the most. Like Stephen King's a big well-known author, but you know, he's not posting YouTube videos. He's not the guy that I'm like writing alongside with. You know, when you made your 30-minute like write with me, and I think you did that after I commented on one of your videos. I literally think so, and I was so happy the amount of times like I wrote along to that video. And so I was like, okay, here's a person I admire, here's a person who clearly cares about like her followers and what they're wanting to see from her. So I just reached out into your DMs, and I think I was like, hey, I really like your content, I've been following you for like almost a year now. It's something I'm interested in doing, would you be willing to come and be a guest on it? And you said yes. Which was amazing, because like obviously, you know, everybody has the right to say no, but it's so cool that you were willing to take like the risk, I suppose, on somebody with like no following, essentially starting from scratch, like you know, has no name in the community yet. And so yeah, you were on my podcast, and after that we just clicked so much. Like truly, the podcast was an hour and a half, but you and I talked for another hour and a half off camera. Like that's how like well we clicked. And then that was during NaNoWriMo 2022. And then we literally just decided to keep video calling during NaNoWriMo. Yeah, to like help. Like we were writing together pretty much every single day, FaceTiming,
and chatting, and
we were just slowly building a relationship like that. And we've kept in contact since then, pretty much nonstop. Like we're always talking to each other. Like if we're not video calling, we're always messaging and texting. Keeping up to date on what's going on our socials. Like every time she posts a new video, I'm always watching. I try to comment.
And then we share each other's
stuff. All the time.
I'm always encouraging her to like post more.
Yes. Well, you guys can thank Anna for that I'm even on YouTube in the first place, because I literally spent a year like freaking out. Letting perfectionism get to me.
It's okay.
But because Anna's been so supportive as an amazing friend, I decided to take the scary leap into making content and the podcast and everything. So it's just that I wouldn't even be here, like maybe not like be here on YouTube, and then it's just because of your openness and your willingness, and now I'm here with you in person.
I know,
and it's crazy, like crazy, so amazing.
Cool. Very grateful. No, truly, because when you reached out, I was so passionate. Like, if you've watched some of Tiana's videos, you know like how amazing she speaks and how her ideas are just so like well thought out. Like you can tell that she's such a deep thinker, and has such like passion for the world and writing. So when she was starting a podcast here about like the world and what writers view the world as, I just was like, yeah, this is gonna be like amazing, and like I was just sold. So then when we clicked, it was amazing. And I think like honestly, when I think about making writer friends, I think of the same way of, it's so crazy like when you click because you're just simply writers. And I give the example of how like I went to a Christian camp once, and I remember being so scared about going, but then as soon as I went, I simply like felt like home. I'm like, is this what heaven is like? Because I feel like I get along with everyone here. And that's how I feel about like writers. Like every single writer I've like FaceTimed, even if I don't talk to them too much, like that instant connection is so sacred and amazing. And writers just get writers. And especially like Tiana, like she for example introduced me to Kafka. So like
Kafka,
I'm reading in the castle
is our favorite ever. she got me into him. So like even then, like the reading and like the literature that we're into and the ideas and our projects kind of, although they're different, they very much coincide in like our passion for telling the world our own story. So I think you'll see that across whenever you meet any sort of writer in your life, I think. Yeah, I mean that you have that like instant connection point of you're both writing, you're going through the same struggle. I mean, we were both writing at the time. Yeah. Now we're both editing.
Yes, we're both editing, which is so crazy. I feel like we're like pregnant together. Like our books, our babies.
Literally.
And yeah.
But it's just like amazing too to see your growth, because I've been following you for so long. And it's just to see how far you've come with how many projects you've written. Like, there's Project O is done. I first met you in a graveyard.
Yeah.
I know you're kind of restarting Project BB, but I know you were like, what, 70K?
Yeah, 77,000.
Yeah. Now you're editing Go Side for your self-publication hopefully later this year. So it's just like the crazy amount of growth you've gone through is so cool to see, especially because I feel like I've been there since the beginning. And I wanted to talk about like how important it is to find that community and those people that you click with, because I think that support is so necessary. Like, I don't literally think in a way I'd be doing what I'm doing, like certain things, if it wasn't for Anna and a couple of my other writing friends. Just having that support. And I mean, even Kafka himself, his best friend was Max Brod. Yeah, so I'm like, we're like Kafka and Brod, or Brod and Kafka, because I don't want to say who's Kafka. Depending on the day. I feel like we could switch back and forth.
We do.
Who's Kafka-esque today and who's not. So, but do you have any advice for people who are looking to connect, like they're writers, or feeling lonely, like no one gets them? How can they, find their people in the writing community and get that same support and friendship that we have today?
Yeah, so I think honestly, as you were explaining, and just like how we met through content creation as writers, I also think that if you want to make writer friends, it's a great way to like actually start your own content platform in a sense. Although I feel like it's easier, and especially when you're considering like social media and how realistic it is to meet writers. Like, writers are very hard to come by. Like, no one from my town or city like is a writer, or like relatives, none whatsoever. So your best bet is like literally online. And I feel like the best way is to make your own content and reach out to content creators or other writers around your age or around your genre that you really like. Or like how you reached out to me, like as a content creator, or like someone that you follow. Maybe look at smaller Instagram people. There's so many beautiful Instagrammers like I connect with like on Instagram. My voice, I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to get tips, but I hope there's little advice, like go online, Discord, like I have a Discord if you guys don't know. And yeah, just kind of follow your favorite creators and your favorite writers on YouTube and Instagram. But you probably have more advice.
I mean, the only thing I would add is well, when I was participating in Nano, the thing that I did, like, I'm not sure I'll do Nano. I don't think I'll do Nano ever again, like, through that. Yeah, that in itself. About it. but what I want to say is, like, they do have their community channels for, like, city specific, and when I joined mine for the very first time, there was some great people in there. That's how I met Petey Workman, the first podcast I ever did. And so it's like, maybe find like online communities in your city through Nano or some other type of organization. Yeah. And also, I mean, I'm maybe gonna date myself a little bit because I still use Facebook, but there are a lot of Facebook writing groups. Yeah. So it's like writers helping writers, aspiring writers united. There's so many, and people in there constantly are asking for advice, but they're also looking for other people to connect with that are writers. And so for some of you, that might be a really good resource to just meet with people that are in a similar space as you. Because, yeah, the likelihood of you just, like, going somewhere and coming across a writer... I've been...
That's so depressing. Why is that so?
Yeah, I don't know. It's, like, none. I can vouch for that because I've been to 4 different continents and, like... 10 different countries now in the last 2 years, and I have still not come, like, just walking on the street or being out in public, have not come across a single writer. A lot of engineers out there, I'll tell you that much, but there are no writers. So online is your best bet, I think, which is really nice because, like, the writing community is constantly growing on social media. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think Anna's advice of reaching out and just tell people what you like. You don't necessarily have to like be like, oh hey, I give me advice for a podcast, or like what content should I make. Even just people like hearing. Like I'm realizing that now too, as someone who's making content for this last little while. It's so nice to just have people reach out and be like, hey, I just really like what you're doing. I like your Instagram, your YouTube, reading these amazing comments people are leaving. It's a really good way to like build a foundation like for a relationship with a person that you like. Yeah. And who knows what that'll lead to in the future. So, and who knows, then maybe you meet up somewhere in the world in person and go on crazy adventures together.
Like us, that's literally like what we're doing. So it all just starts with reaching out to people, I think. Yeah. Don't be afraid of that. Like it's I mean, you gotta talk to people. It's kind of
that's something writers struggle with.
So,
despite the fact that we're all kind of introverted and like to be alone, it's good to talk to other humans.
Yes, once in a while. Come on, bestie.
You can do it. You can do it. But that's kind of like our little story of how we met and how we are here today. Even just filming this for you guys, which is still crazy to think about.
I'm so excited.
Yes. Yeah. Well, guys, I just want to say thank you for watching, and please, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Go onto Anna's channel. We filmed a video there. I will put all her links in the description, and...
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.